Hi, my name is Heather. I'm a nutritionist and a GAPS practitioner, and this is part 3 of a series on histamine intolerance and how to heal it. So if you haven't seen my other 2 videos, you should definitely check them out. I'm trying to convince you that histamine is not the root cause. Histamine intolerance is not the root problem. It is simply a symptom of a gut imbalance, and by really healing the gut and healing and sealing the gut lining, you can heal histamine intolerance, stop all these annoying systems, calm down any food sensitivities and allergies, and just live your life. You don't need to be dependent on all these supplements and a low histamine diet and this and that and like this way of living that's so unsustainable. So that's kind of what I'm trying to share today, and this is where I'm going to be talking on why I don't recommend a low histamine diet. So I just do want to say, if you're trying to figure out if histamines are a problem, a low histamine diet for 2 weeks is a great way to do that. If you have a bunch of random symptoms like nosebleeds and insomnia and headaches and migraines and skin issues, and you do a low histamine diet for 2 weeks and your symptoms calm down, winner, winner, chicken dinner. You've probably figured out that histamine is a problem. But going on a permanent low histamine diet is not the solution. It doesn't really help. It just kind of acts as a band-aid, and it doesn't fix the root cause, which is our microbiome, our gut lining. So you gotta check out those other videos because I share a bit more about that. But basically, going on a low histamine diet doesn't affect the root cause. The root cause is having a leaky gut, a gut microbiome that doesn't have enough beneficial microbes protecting the gut lining, and so the gut lining gets inflamed. It gets biofilms of pathogenic things like candida overgrowth that release more histamine, and then those food particles that we're digesting are not staying in our beautiful little intestines. They're leaking into the bloodstream past our immune barrier, and now all of a sudden our immune system is attacking them and releasing histamine as a result. So when we heal the gut, our body no longer has a reason to be fighting this inflammation and repairing tissue and sending histamine, because we don't have food intolerances anymore. We don't need all these tissues constantly repaired. So that's super important. Another reason is if we just do a low histamine diet, meaning we take out the fermented foods, we take out all these foods that we need, we take out like meats and shellfish and vinegars and all these cultured fermented foods and yogurt, your gut lining is not healing. That doesn't heal your gut lining. It just removes things that might be irritating at the moment. And because you're not healing the gut lining, your body will likely increase the histamine production, because the longer that gut lining is leaky and inflamed, the more different foods that are going to be leaking into the bloodstream. And when that happens, you're getting more IgE, immune system responses, and even more foods that are going to signal histamine release. So that is why we see when histamine issues, often they start out as like hay fever or tummy troubles. When they're not taken care of, or you just go on a low histamine diet and don't address the root cause, it later develops into like eczema or psoriasis, and it gets worse and worse and worse until you heal the gut lining. So all that to say, a low histamine diet does not heal the gut lining. And of course, you're missing out on fermented foods that over time will lower your histamine. So these fermented foods, our sauerkraut, our yogurt, our kefir, our kombucha, all of these, we need to introduce them very slowly, and I go over that in the past videos. But when they have these amazing active substances that are naturally antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, they go and they kill off candida biofilms and overgrowths of all these pathogens, and that lowers our histamine over time. So by balancing out the gut line, or by balancing out the gut, we're healing the gut lining, we're sending in beneficial bacteria to heal the gut lining, we're getting rid of those pathogens that increase our histamine, and it just is a natural, beautiful way to do it that doesn't rely on all these pills and crazy restrictions. And the final reason I don't recommend a low histamine diet is I think it's a miserable way to live, because you never really heal, and because it's likely that your sensitivity to histamine will go up over time, you never really know what's going to trigger you. You know, I hear people that do these diets and they take these supplements and DAO and all these things, which aren't necessarily bad. They can be helpful, but they still are never going to know if that glass of wine is going to cause a histamine migraine the next day, or they don't really know. It's kind of like a guess and check game. Like, oh, I'll try a little bit. Am I gonna react? I don't really know. It's like, if all the stars align, maybe I can have a piece of cheese. And it's just not definitive. I think it's miserable. You can't drink, you can't have fermented foods that are beneficial for your gut. You never really know that you're healed, so you just keep having problems. And I just think that's not a good way to live. It's just managing symptoms, and yeah. I understand why people promote it and promote the products and the research and stuff, but I personally think if you can heal it with a short-term intensive diet like the GAPS diet and the GAPS intro, you can heal it, you can get rid of it, you can fix all the issues associated with it. Why not do that? Like, it just makes sense to me, and I've seen it work a lot of times. So that's it. That's why I don't like a low histamine diet. So if this was helpful, or if it's motivated you to really get to the root cause, I'd love it if you would like or share, comment, subscribe, or hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.